Despite having no experience whatsoever, we are attempting to build a road to access deeper into our property.
That's not good.
We hit a few bumps along the way and clear out a large area where we find a few surprises.
There's all these weird metal poles. I'm like, what do you think that is? What in the world did they use this space for? Because
it kind of looks like it's like a circus training camp.
We'll never really know what was going on here. It's just very strange.
So the very last step before we start building the tiny house is to build out a road out here, because currently trucks can't get back here for delivery. And unfortunately the tracks and the skid steer are on their last leg, about to tear. So I need to be extra careful, because before we can get delivery of new tracks, we have to build some kind of access road. So the goal today is not just to build this new road, but to clear out another section of the land that we haven't discovered yet. A large clearing that looks like it has a lot of potential. I'm curious to see what we find. First, we just really need to scrape back all of the topsoil. You can't put gravel on top of topsoil, otherwise it'll just disappear right into the topsoil. So we're scraping it back, getting as close to clay as we can. Actually, it looks like the clay is pretty shallow, so I'll just be scraping back, 5 to 6 inches of it. Man, I can tell we need new tracks. This machine has a lot of power that I just don't have access to right now, because the tracks just spin and spin and spin.
So the main reason that this is important for us to do right now is because we have some big deliveries coming, and obviously we need some big trucks to be able to get in the driveway. That's mainly at the entrance to the property, but why we also need to do back here is because when we have big semi-trucks, cement trucks coming through, they often need a really long time for the gravel and everything to settle before they're willing to drive their big trucks on that road. So we need to go ahead and get this done as soon as possible, so that when we are building the main house back here, we can have big trucks drive on this road.
Really need to take it easy as we're building out this road, because I have to build it before the new tracks arrive. Ah, man, we're out of gas. That's not a good way to start a day. I'm gonna fill up the diesel. So, I'm finding it to be a lot more difficult than anything else I've done so far with the skid steer. Just getting the road to be level, not digging in too deep. I definitely dug out far more than I should have, but put it back and smooth it out. It's a learning process.
Absolutely. So while he's digging this road out, he's also trying to kind of balance things out and smooth it out, because there was a big dip and things like that in this area right here. It dropped down pretty far. So while he's digging this out, he's trying to kind of level everything out, make it a smoother, more gradual path down so that it's easier to drive on.
All right, I think it's Heather's turn. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you?
This is a bit advanced for my skill level.
Which is why I'm giving it to you, because I haven't done a very good job so far. I'm digging way too deep. You need to just barely scrape off the topsoil.
It's like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what it's like, but I'm going to figure it out, I guess. Okay, here we go. Turn it on. Okay, the door was not closed. Let's hope it's closed now. Let's see, we're gonna rev the engine, put these down. Green button, okay. Woo! Okay, nope. I feel like I'm not doing something right. I'm doing it! Did I do it?
You're treating it like it's fine china. like dial the aggressiveness up by like a factor of 100x.
I know, but I'm a dainty person.
All right, so that's the new section of the road completely finished, or at least to the standards that we are capable of doing ourselves.
It looks great.
I think it looks pretty good. We'll have to do a little bit of work later on just to make sure drainage is okay. But for now, it should be perfectly acceptable to place down gravel. So I have a little side project that I'm starting to work on. It's still very early on, so give me a little bit of grace, but I'm setting up a mobile workshop, something that can power this build at different locations on the property. So this guy will be our equipment trailer, hauling all of our supplies, as well as storing and powering all of our tools. So the thought is, since we are gonna be building off-grid, is to set up this guy as a mobile powered workstation with solar on the roof, a battery bank in here, and all of our charging station in here, as well as tool storage. So it's very early stages. I still have to build up the shelves for tool storage, get solar on the roof, and get all organized. But right now, I've got a little bit of a table setup going on here with our microwave and coffee station, just to keep things fueled and powered for the day. And then this is our battery setup over here, as well as our battery bank that's powering all of this, which this guy, let me tell you about. So this guy's the Anker Solix C2000, and I'm super proud to have Anker sponsoring today's video. As you can see, this small little guy is powering our entire setup. All of our tool batteries, the chainsaw batteries, can power the microwave, boil some hot water for coffee, and this little guy will be the heart of this mobile workshop, which will help power our house build. So what really sets this guy apart from other battery options out there is its low idle power consumption of just 9 watts, which will allow you to power a double door upright refrigerator for up to 32 hours just off of this 2 kilowatt setup, or you can add an extra battery for 4 kilowatts and power it to up to 60 hours. If you've ever used one of these batteries in an off-grid scenario, whether that's living out of a van or in a tiny house, then you know how important that low idle consumption is, as well as fast charging. And this guy has industry-leading fast charging when using AC and solar. You can charge to 100% in just 58 minutes. The fact that this guy is so lightweight and so portable means we can carry it all over the property, set it up, power whatever we're working off of in just this small little package. But in our little portable setup right now, this is making our life a whole lot easier. If you're interested in grabbing one of these Anker C2000 Gen 2, the pre-sale is now live. You get an early bird discount. Check out the link in the description below for all of the details, or scan the QR code on screen now. But with that, thank you so much to Anker for sponsoring today's video.
Okay, so we finally finished up the new section of the road, or the driveway, I guess it is. And now Bradey is working on the existing driveway that was here. Over the last probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years, there's been a lot of, overgrowth on this which was a gravel driveway. Lots of dirt and soil and grass is growing on it and all sorts of things. So right now Bradey is trying to kind of uncover the top layer of all of the things that have kind of washed onto the road over time, and he's gonna scrape that down, hopefully to the gravel that is already existing there. And then we will obviously bring in more gravel to kind of clean this up even more. But this bit should be a little bit easier because we're not creating a whole new road, we're just kind of fixing what was already there.
When we first got here, because it was so covered in soil that had been washed up on it, and but yeah, there's a good 6 inches of gravel for the first 400 feet of road, so that's good news. It will just need to scrape it back. This section here will be just a matter of minutes and it'll be finished. The track is barely hanging on by a thread. I think it's about to tear.
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Knew we were reaching the end of life, but I wanted to push it and get this road in. The road is to the point that we can receive deliveries, but the problem is that we need the machine to get the delivery off the truck. So the skids or the tracks are, I think, 3 days away from being delivered. So there's a lot more work that I'd like to do. Just don't know if I want to push things, because once that splits, then you're stuck wherever you're left. And we have to use the machine to get the new tracks off the truck. Back it up just a little bit. Keep going, keep going. Oh man, that is not good. I think we're gonna have to pause this machine for a couple of days just to be able to limp its way to the truck and get the new tracks off of the truck. So thankfully the new tracks have arrived a lot sooner than was originally expected, and it's funny to see just how big they are.
These things are huge, and it's crazy to see what they actually look like, what they're supposed to look like versus those. We were thinking of only switching out the one that was ripped, but now that I see how much sturdier these are, I think we should switch both of them out.
The thickness is twice as thick as what is here. You can see just how thick these are.
Oh my goodness.
Compared to what
poor
these
little
are.
guy.
What makes me nervous though is how they have them packaged up, because when you slice these, they're going to want to spring out pretty hardcore. So I'm thinking we'll place them against a tree, probably pin the machine against them to slice them open, because I'm just afraid when you slice that, it's just going to spring open and hurt somebody.
Over the frog.
You can really see here all of this damage. Of this thing is about ready to split right open. It's barely hung on the last couple of days, but this guy should make a pretty big difference. Because these tracks are brand new and they have so much thicker tread on them, as a result of them not being worn down, they weigh a whole lot more than the old ones when we had to replace those, or put them back on rather. I don't know what exactly they weigh, but according to the shipment, they weighed 1,200 pounds total, so 600 each.
It looks awesome.
That'll make a huge, huge difference.
smushed. Runaway frog.
That took 5 hours. The hardest one was the very last track. There's something about these tracks. They're nearly twice as heavy as the worn tracks. Like I said, I think they're about 600 pounds each. And then they were just so stiff with how they were packaged up. So you have to squeeze the track around the curvature of the machine. They just would not go. I was dragging and pulling on it with the car at one point, ratchet strapping from all different directions. Very happy that's over, and I hope I never have to do that ever again. So unfortunately, with the delay of the tracks, we then had an issue with the delay of the guy delivering the gravel. So he's not able to come for at least probably a couple of days. But we can still move forward and prep the road, because we have to take down some branches that are in his way, as well as at least one tree that's basically encroaching too far into the driveway.
Yeah, it's not gonna come down?
No, it's not coming down the right way. So unfortunately, it's leaning back heavy, but thankfully we do have equipment to push it over. I have wedges, but I can't find them. For the majority of the tree falling, we're gonna use an excavator, which is so much safer. Look how beautiful this is, black walnut. It makes me sad to cut it down, but we have to build a road, we have to build a house. But this right here is good for a lot of really healthy furniture. That's gorgeous. That's better color than the stuff that we were using in Italy.
So we did have a pretty big rain yesterday. So the ground is really wet. We're trying to figure out kind of what our steps are today that we can accomplish, because we can't perfectly smooth out the road the way that we want to because of the mud. But there is the clearing that we have kind of stumbled upon to before that I'm really hoping we can maybe get in there and clear out today, because I'd be really interested to see what all is back there and what we can find.
We've come out to the clearing. We're gonna clear the clearing because we need to bring in solar panels. There's also a lot of debris that we need to stack up and have a safe place to burn it. I'm curious to see what we'll find here. But for that, it's Heather's turn.
Yay! All right, here we go. Back at it.
So we don't have a lot of plans for this clearing currently, although I would love to bring in a bunch of fruit trees or plant out a hobby farm or garden, space for animals, solar panels. So I guess that's a lot of plans actually, more than I was thinking in my head originally. But seeing it halfway cleared out, it seems like there's a whole lot more space than I originally realized that there was.
So I'm really excited to see really how big this area is, and I have a lot of ideas of what I want to do with it. I would love to maybe build a greenhouse out here, have like a little hobby farm. I don't know if we would put animals back here or if we would just keep it, you know, for growing food. I think Bradey wants to put solar panels back here, so we have a lot of plans for this space, so I'm excited to see, you know, what all it comes up.
A lot of you have said we should build the house here just to save on cutting down trees. This is not the spot to build the house. The way the water flows here, it tends to stay marshy quite a bit, so it's just not gonna be, not too marshy that you can't like plant fruit trees and that kind of stuff, but I just wouldn't feel that great putting a house in this location.
All right, wait. What is that? Why is there a metal pole back here? That is so weird. Okay, there's this like metal pole sticking up out of this clearing. There's some like wooden poles right next to it. Like wooden. No, those are metal too. It's just like all rusted. What in the world? All right, I'm gonna get around here and try to find Bradey, see where he is, and figure out like what in the world this stuff is. He usually has ideas of like what things are. I don't know what's going on here. He might have some ideas of what this might be.
Oh man, Heather just hit something on the other side of the field that didn't sound very good. And that cable that I mentioned started shaking, shook this entire tree. It looks kind of like a zip line. I don't know what in the world is going on here or what she hit on the other side. This brush is so tall. At some points it's about, I'd say 7-8 feet tall. So it's really hard to see anything. So I don't blame her for hitting anything. But now that things are starting to be cut back, I'm seeing all of these weird metal structures popping up in the clearing. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I'm kind of interested in getting her to stop so that we can walk around and take a look and see what in the world these things are.
So did you see all the weird things I'm finding?
Yeah, you hit something too, didn't you?
I hit something. I don't know what that was, and there's all these weird metal poles. I'm like, what do you think that is? And there's this weird painted wood structure.
Let's go find out.
Okay.
It's kind of cool though, having the clearing though. Now you can be able to walk through it for the first time.
I'm like, what is back here? That's what I was saying. Like, I want to think of different ways we can utilize this space, but first we have to clear it to see like how big it is and everything. But what in the world did they use this space for? Because I see like there's this metal line going across here. There's a wooden structure that's painted like orange, blue, yellow. And then there's all these just random poles. I first thought those were wooden poles, but they're rusted metal. So I don't know, like, what is that?
I did just notice, sadly, the previous owners of the land at some point tied a cable around this tree and it's really choking it off. And unfortunately, it's a gorgeous tree, but it's now fully dead as a result of that cable. So first off, that cable is pretty heavy duty cable. I think it's a zip line, which sounds pretty fun. This platform, the painted platform as we approach it here, is, I have no idea. Nice little clearing, grassy area underneath it.
Whoa, it's just grass right there.
Yeah.
What in the world? It's like a little oasis.
It is kind of weird that like
Why
everything else around us is, I mean, some of this brush back here is 7-8 feet tall, and then you just have beautiful pristine
what I
grass.
know is what kind of grass is this? Because it doesn't obviously grow too high. We were just talking about what kind of grass to plant that we won't have to mow all the time.
You've got decades of overgrowth around you, and then kind of a lush little lawn right in the middle of it. And then you've got there's a bunch of these poles here with like, I don't know. So there's like a couple of, whoa.
Oh, careful, not solid.
Rotten ramps to like climb up here. This looks like it's a deck, like an elevated deck. And then you've got more of these ties here. There's like, I think it's a trampoline.
A trampoline?
I think it's like literally a 30-foot by 30-foot trampoline with a jumping off platform and a zip line running over top of it.
How in the world did you come up with that?
Well, I mean, those are, they're like tension springs. I don't know what they're called.
Okay, yeah.
They look like they're on the edge of the trampoline. This is clearly a platform with a way to climb up. It looks like there used to be deck boards over top. It's like a little circus training camp. So we're walking around trying to get to the other side without walking through the brush to see what all of those metal poles are. But I can now see the other side of that zip line. It looks like they put in a giant like 10 by 10 post into the ground, cemented it in, and turned this into like a little zip line circus training camp paradise. But I'm kind of assuming the other metal poles are related to other things like that. All right, so here's the first one, which this looks like, I don't know what this is. I don't think it's a flagpole, although it could be. No, I think it's just simply a flagpole. Why would there be a flagpole way out in the corner of the property?
They're circus club flag.
I'm confused.
Is that I saw this when I drove by and it looks like a tree, but then I think there's something else.
This is what you hit. So this is a 10 by 10 post anchored in with steel rods. You must have hit the steel rods. That's supporting the zip line. Yeah, that's what you hit.
That's what I hit. I was like, what is that? I was like, oh, it must have just been a tree.
That'll do some serious damage to the mold shirt. We'll have to inspect that later.
I didn't know I was gonna find that.
I'm not blaming you. I wouldn't have seen it either.
That looks like it's about to fall over.
No, it's what do you call it? It's not, is it trapeze? What's it called? When you've got two supports either side, you're clipped in either way, and you can jump and do flips and stuff. What's it called?
Yeah, it's kind of like trapeze. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Why is this here?
Yeah, that's like, they have that at like fairs and stuff. Yeah. That's crazy. So what are these for?
This one I've got no clue.
Just weird
Just
poles.
Random metal poles. Let's clear more and figure out what it is. There looks to be a few more items in the center I just can't see.
Okay.
I feel like now we have to revitalize the zip line and the trampoline at least.
What?
We're
that
not,
sounds so dangerous.
We're not going to put in the rest of the stuff, but how fun would it be for the kids?
They would love that.
Well, there's still a little bit more work to clear everything up, but at least now we can fully see everything. Confirmed. It is a giant trampoline, other trapeze things. Still no idea what those random poles in the middle of the field were.
They were definitely doing some kind of like acrobatics. Like that's what it feels like to me. It's like, maybe it wasn't a trampoline, maybe it was like a net or something they were like holding. You think there's
Sure, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be like for jumping, but they were doing flips or something into it and it was catching them or whatever.
Bizarre.
You think it's just going to be a normal day of clearing a field. You think you had bought just a normal property, and then you go and you discover that there was some level of a circus training camp in the backyard, which I don't even know what to do with that information.
It seems like this spot with the grass, like they dug it out, and if there was some sort of net or something, like maybe they planted grass specifically here so that things wouldn't grow up into it. Like that would make sense.
I have no idea, but definitely surrounding this entire thing is dug out and then flattened. The purpose why, I have no idea.
It's very, very strange. Like we can make all the assumptions we want, but like we'll never really know what was going on here. It's just very strange.
Somebody please tell me what this thing is called, because it's driving me crazy. I can't exactly remember what it's called. Back there with that giant tree that's died is where the start of the zip line is. And then it extends out over here to this post that they've buried into the ground, cemented it, and then anchored as well into the ground.
I have a new theory. It's not a zip line, it's a tightrope. And they're walking on the tightrope.
And then falling off into the net.
And then you fall off onto the net over there.
But you asked earlier, how do you even get up there?
Yeah.
There's no ladder or anything. I don't know. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's why I think it's a tightrope. They climb up the tree, and then they walk
like little monkeys?
Yeah.